Houston Real Estate Radio.
Welcome back. I'm Shannon Register.
I'm James Brown.
And James and I are talking today about home security alarms. We're talking with our ADT rep from Safe Haven Security. We have Bill Vineyard here in the studio with us. And, home security these days is such an important issue. So tell us about your role, Bill, with Safe Haven Security.
Well, what I do is I'm the National Installation Manager. I'm in charge of all the installation team nationwide, hiring, training, things of that nature, and making sure everything goes in right.
So I'm thinking you probably think it's pretty important that things are installed correctly and not consumer installed. I think it's kind of a professional job. Would you agree?
I would absolutely agree. It needs to be professionally installed. All of my boys have been completely trained how things work, why they work, when they don't work, and what makes them not work. And we can eliminate that at the time of installation, and the average consumer doesn't know that. And they also don't know what brand or quality of equipment they're getting. You know, you can go online and buy a $99 system and put it in there and think you have security, but you certainly do not.
That's very true. When a builder pre-wires a home, is that wiring generic for any system, or is it something that you sometimes can use or always can use?
No, that wiring is generic. It's just basically a couple of wires, some little micro sensors in the windows and the doors. They usually have the wires ran for the motion sensors and numerous keypads as well. So it gives us many options as installers to groom the house to the client's needs or wants.
When a house is pre-wired, is that the same as hardwired? And what's the difference between a wireless and a hardwired system?
Well, a hardwired system is what's been around forever. The wireless system hasn't been around just a few years. The hardwire system, you have, again, like I said, the little micro sensors that go in there. They operate on magnets. You're limited to your modifications of the system after the fact, once the home is built, because the wires have to run through the walls, up through the 2x4s in the walls, and it's not impossible, but it certainly isn't fun.
Probably not cheap.
Try to run those wires. No, it's not very cost effective. And with the wireless system, you have the freedom of putting the sensors wherever. You know, they're aesthetically pleasing as well as functional.
I know with one of the misconceptions that I hear with ADT or any security company that comes out is that everything is very standard. You know, they're going to put a motion detector in the living room. You're going to have a keypad by the garage. You know, everything is very standard. But you really come out and look at the home and assess what the needs are. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. We come out and Our licensed installers have, like I said, been very, very highly trained. They come out, they will assess your personal needs to eliminate your own fears, as well as what they know they need to do to protect you to their best of their ability. Keypad by the back door or by the garage, sure, because that's where you come and go. You know, that's typically the delay door as well. We give you one door with a delay, so you can come in and turn the alarm off if you don't have the benefit of remote control, which is one of the luxuries we have nowadays with the wireless systems. They're just really nice. As far as being standard, basically you have a motion sensor you put in the living room to form a trap zone. We try to protect the sleeping area. If we're just going in with an extremely minimal system, obviously, that's where you're unconscious, so, we need to protect you in there. But the doors are protected, and the basic motion sensor in the living room is usually what the standard system is, the doors and the motion.
You know, there's some really large windows, really nice windows looking out at a lot of pools. Do you recommend those glass breakers on those, or do you think as long as you have a motion detector, you really don't need those?
Well, the motion detector people typically turn off at night. Most of the burglaries happen at night, so you really don't have a motion detector. If you jump up in the middle of the night to go get a drink of water or whatever, well, you can't set your alarm off with a motion. So the best protection is a shock sensor. Those mount directly on the glass itself. And if somebody breaks the glass, impacts the glass, trying to break it, it activates a sensor and sets off the alarm. So that's the best protection because it keeps people outside the perimeter of the home, and that's what we want to do.
Right. You don't want them to get the chance to come in.
I would much rather my alarm go off with a bad guy outside,
Right.
I don't want him in my living room when I hear the alarm. Mm-hmm. Glass breakers are really good. They're a more cost-effective way. Shock sensors go on individual windows. It can run a few dollars up there, if you have a lot of windows in your home. A glass break detector detects the frequency of breaking glass for about 20 feet line of sight in every direction. So let's say you have a breakfast room and a living room and kitchen area, which is
kind of an open area.
Yeah, yeah. Then one glass break detector, if you have open and closed sensors, will suffice in there, but it's much better. The best protection by far are shock sensors.
So a glass break detector monitors the sound of breaking glass, so it could be anywhere in the room and monitor several windows.
20 feet line of sight every direction.
Okay, and then the shock sensor actually is per window.
Individual windows, yes, sir. Now, if you have two windows right next to each other and you mount it in the center, chances are somebody hits it hard enough to break the window, it's going to activate it even if it's on the other window right next to it. But to be safe, I wouldn't guarantee that. I would say every window.
Okay.
How important is the monitoring? Some people have alarms that sound when, someone opens the door, but they're not being monitored. How important is that?
Well, it's as important as the fire department coming to your house. If you have a smoke communicator and your home is on fire and the alarm goes off, it's as important as somebody knowing about it. Or should you have a break-in, we don't have a policeman there if we don't have anybody listening, and it's imperative it's monitored. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only thing you can do if you have a system that isn't monitored, it just gives you time to take aim, And that's not
I hadn't thought of it like that.
That's not a situation most people would like to be in.
Yeah, I think some people who live in a tight-knit community, like your condos, apartment complexes, sometimes they'll just have the sound, but they don't have it monitored because they figure there's going to be people around that are going to hear it, but probably not real reliable.
Well, and again, I have to lean toward the fire protection. If you're in a condo, you may have a firewall, but you also may have a neighbor that lights the bacon grease on fire,
Yeah.
Now, do you have systems where the homeowner themselves can monitor online via camera or via microphone?
Sure, that's called a pulse system. It's hasn't been out very long, less than a year for the dealers. ADT's been working with it a little longer than that. Getting the bugs out, if you will, but pretty much got it down to where it's working really well now. You can remotely from your smartphone, from your laptop, whatever, turn your system off and on. You can, you can go clear up, control your thermostats. You can monitor your cameras. If you have an alarm event, ADT will be able to look through the camera on your front door and see what's going on there.
And I really like the panic buttons that you have. They just go right there on your keychain. You've got it with you all the time.
Very nice thing to have, sure. They work within about 300 feet length of a football field from your system.
Which is most houses.
Most houses, most lawns, yeah, unless you live out on a farm somewhere, But, I tell people that if you're cleaning your gutters out and fall off the ladder and no one's home, it's real nice to have a button in your pocket you can push. Another nice thing about it, you're coming home, you're getting the groceries out of the car. A lot of people get attacked getting out of their cars. If you remember back a year or two, even the mayor of Sugar Land got attacked in his own driveway. I don't know if you remember that. That's a common thing. And if you have your panic button right there on your keys, boom, instant alarm. guaranteed 3-second response. All of a sudden, you have the police on the way.
And it's really sad that we live in a society where you need that to feel comfortable. I know I don't even feel comfortable anymore if I don't have my cell phone on me. I feel like something could happen and I won't be able to get in touch with somebody. And it's sad that we live that way, but I think that's where your comfort comes from, is having things like panic buttons and cell phones and alarms.
It's unfortunate we need the security, but it's very fortunate we have the technology to make it work.
And ADT has some great specials going on.
They do. We go in. We have roughly about $850 worth of equipment we initially put in for a $99 activation fee. Typically, we will return a $100 Visa gift card to offset that initial cost. No installation charge with us. We just
basically free, and you just pay for the monitoring.
That's about as good as it gets.
I like that.
I think we have to go to a break now, but will you stay with us?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
I'm Shanna Register.
I'm James Brown.
And we'll be right back after this break.